Oh man, it's almost 4:30. I gotta get the fuck out of here.
This is the social norm.
1, 2. You want top dollar and pop bottles and drop knowledge. Hit the throttle on nice autos without college. Do yourself a solid, put them boys on your screen. Wait, who do you mean? I mean canteen and beans. When the social norm is on, you better pay attention. They teach you lessons, make you laugh when you're stressing. Must I mention that the style is infectious? I gotta have it. The rapid fire gabbing on my tablet. My boys established a gamut of information, from relations to dating to when your leader gets impatient. They're lacing the nation every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 4:30. The Social Norm Podcast, you heard me?
It's the social norm.
And I'm just getting warm.
It's the social norm.
And I'm just getting warm.
It's the social norm.
And I'm
Yo, you already know what it is, man. Hey, we back at it again with another one, y'all. Hey, I'm your boy Canteen. This is my man Beans.
What's up, yo?
Hey, it's the Social Norm Podcast where we go ahead and talk to y'all, open y'all minds up, make y'all think a little different, and make y'all be the best y'all can be. Now, you know, today we got another banger for y'all. Today, man. Parents' secrets, man, they be messing these kids up. That's what we're talking about today. Oh, snap. I'm already messing up with my phone, y'all. Hey, now, get this
What
goddamn
is
thing.
going on?
I don't know. All right, now, before we go ahead and get into this episode, you know I got to go ahead and give y'all the disclaimer.
Yeah.
This is me and Bean's personal opinion. This is not factual. This is not the ultimatum. This is not the end-all, be-all. This is just me and Beans and how we see things. So we got our opinion. You got your opinion. You know what I mean? We're going to respect them both. Now, today, bro, the reason I wanted to do this episode was because we was hanging out with some fellas, and this topic came up about the messed up things parents do and have secrets that end up later on affecting their child. You know what I mean? Because I've seen so many times where you got the mama and your sister is really your mother. You know, you got the dad got a whole family on the other side that he's not telling nobody about.
Straight out of a Tyler Perry movie.
It's
It'd be real. When he make those movies, as much as I bag on Tyler Perry, a lot of that stuff is experience. A lot of that stuff is real life.
It really is. And I've had my own personal experience with my parents telling secrets, holding secrets from me that ended up shifting to how I thought and how I see things and how I seen them. Now, I know you had your own little experience, and we're going to get into all that. But I want y'all to go ahead, you know what I mean, hit a like, subscribe, share. Go ahead and share this video because, you know, we want to go ahead and grow with y'all, let everybody know about the Social Norm Podcast. You know, we do different things, talk about different subjects. And
we also want to hear your experiences on the things we talk about.
Yeah, so
we're not the only ones who experience this stuff. So look, this is your chance to speak your piece.
And I'm going to tell you right now, to me, I feel like the Black community be the worst at it. I feel like we number one. Now, I talked to some white people, I talked to some Hispanic people, I talked to all different type of races, and I asked them, I said, have y'all seen that in y'all communities to where you are literally getting seeing things to where your family are holding things from their children to where it's really making them crazy, making them affected. Like I asked this one lady, she told me, you know, a lot of times, and she was a white lady, she said, I'm going to put this out because I'm definitely tired of seeing that. She said that, oh yeah, when I was a kid, you know, a lot of times in the white community, the parents would hide that the kids were adopted. And I'm sitting there thinking, what kind of sense does that make? Are you ashamed to say that your kid is adopted? Because then if you got a problem with it, it makes the child think they should have a problem with it.
Or maybe they think the kid can't handle it.
That's a that's a cop out.
Okay.
It's a cop out. You too scared to sit around and just tell your kid the truth.
Okay, the thing is,
you're inadequate.
And I get you. You should tell them as soon as possible. But the question is, when? When do you tell the child?
You tell them as young as possible, Because see, the problem is we have so many times where they say, "Oh, well, the kid he won't understand what the complexity of it." No, what you're trying to say is he won't understand the complexity of your fuck up. He know, like, if you tell a kid, "Hey, this is what it is," you just straight out let it to him. Like, look, me and your moms, we had this situation. Da da da. Okay, they'll understand it over time. They'll get it even more as they get older.
Yeah, it might hurt in the beginning. You know what I mean? And it's better that than one day the father actually shows up and decides he wants to be in that child's life. Then what are you gonna do?
You nothing you can do. You got to deal with the repercussions of what this kid gonna have to go through. Therapy. He's gonna have to go through a whole bunch of nonsense that he didn't have to do because you guys were just too scared to go ahead and just tell them the truth. And that's the thing we really want to get past on this episode. Y'all, we got to stop putting our kids out there. Now, what you about to say?
Now, as far as I'm concerned about, I don't know if we're going to go into our own personal stories yet, but as far as I'm concerned with that, I've never had to really reveal anything like that. I've only been on the receiving end of it.
Yeah, me too.
So I don't know, I don't know the mindset.
I'll talk to some parents, and I want y'all, if you're a parent, I want you to go ahead and put in the comment section if you feel the same way. A lot of them try to say that they believe, oh, I'm trying to protect my kid. I don't want my kid to feel bad. But if you created the mistake, you have to explain to them, look, this is a mistake that I made or your mama made or whatever case may be, and we have to live off this mistake, but it's not your fault. But when you hide something from somebody, you don't know what they might think.
I mean, yeah, like the trust issue, there's going to be like, well, you ain't telling me this. What else you ain't telling me?
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, I get that.
Now go ahead. I want to hear what's your story of where your parents' secrets, and tell us what it was.
So I come from I would say a large family.
Okay.
Both my parents, 6 kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for years, it was just us, my siblings. So one day, I don't know what prompted my father to say this. We were out. He took me out for pizza. We was yeah. I know.
They do this all the time. They think prepping you for like, let's take you to Chuck E. Cheese, and then I'm gonna fucking destroy your life because you're gonna.
I wonder if my father remembers this. He took me out for pizza at my favorite spot. Right, I still go there to this day. And we're sitting there talking, and this is how he break it down to me. He go, Brian ain't really your brother, right? And I'm like, wait, what? So that's how he hit me with it. So my thought was he was telling me that I was adopted. I thought that's what he was telling me.
Were you about to cry?
I was like, what? Yeah, that's that.
Well, you were about to cry, weren't you?
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, but what about the others? Like, are they related to me too?
Am I the only one that you're telling this to? Like, have you told everybody else?
Because my brain was putting 2 and 2 together. I was like, okay, he took me out to a public place. Now he's dropping this on me.
Well, first off, I'm mad that your father. How many kids your dad and mom had?
It's 6 of us in total.
I'm mad your dad did you by yourself. Yeah. Like, why are you not? Why are you not telling everybody else involved in this?
That's what got me. I was like, he pulled me up by myself.
Pulled me to the side, isolated me.
I can't believe it. I'm adopted. I was like, no, you're not adopted.
He adopted.
I was like, no, he is. Your older brother is. I was like, oh, what happened with my mother? Got with this dude, scumbag, and he did. She got pregnant. He didn't claim the kid. He didn't want nothing to do with the kid. So she went off on her own. Later on, she met my father. Yeah, he kept it safe. He took my brother in, and that was that. My brother, my oldest brother, accepted him as his father. And
how old was your brother?
Oh, he was real young at the time.
Could they have passed off like that was his dad without him ever knowing that was his dad?
Here goes the thing about my family. We resemble each other, but we don't really look like each other, if that makes sense.
Okay. You have some similarities.
We have some similarities, but if you were to see us, you'd be
like, they look like cousins more than anything.
Yeah. People think we're cousins more than brothers. So we never really thought that, okay, well, he looked different.
Mm-hmm.
So we never thought anything. So
I mean, okay. To me, that's not that.
That's not bad. That's
You
what I
know,
said.
that's so that's the most, I guess you would say, shocking thing your parents have ever told you.
well, there are other things like my mother had
Don't say
she had like a she had like a cancer scare. She never told us till like
Oh, okay.
later on. Other than that,
My mother did that to me too. Like recently, my mom had a situation where I was like, she had to go get it checked out, and then come to find out it was nothing. And then she's like, "Oh yeah, I went for screening for cancer."
yeah,
Like, I was like, "What?"
wait a minute.
I didn't want you to get all riled up and get all bent out of shape. I said, "Okay, you know what?
Yeah.
Whatever."
So yeah, I will say, black people, we stay
messing our kids.
secrets.
We stay. No, I want y'all to understand this. Y'all need to know why black people are the way they are, because parents, I'm blaming all y'all. Y'all literally, because you're scared of how your kids are going to receive things, you withhold things and think, oh, they're not ready for this. No, you're not ready for this.
A lot of it too, I'll say with my parents' generation, a lot of it is like that whole stay in a child's place
Yes.
thing that like they just like, no, you stay out of grown folks' business.
And you know, what's worse is when, like, as the kid gets older, when they finally, like, you start seeing them put two and two together, and like they'll ask a question like, "Mom, why does our brother Johnny look totally different than all of us?" Like, what? But go out of time, please. Stay out of grown folks' business. Like, what?
Why is he light skinned with green eyes? And I'm
like little stuff like that. They won't answer it because they're just like, and then when you leave, they're like, "Oh my god." Like, they're getting older, they're gonna realize this. Like,
yes,
don't you realize we're gonna find out?
It's gonna happen. Like the child's gonna be like, "Where's my father? Like, my mom? Who's my dad?" Because sooner or later they're gonna want to know.
They want to know. Wait, why is all the other kids got a dad and I don't got a dad?
Yeah.
So, all right. So I'm gonna give y'all mine's a little worse than yours for sure.
Okay.
All right.
I could deal with that.
All right. I bet you can. Yeah, good. His family's more fucked up than mine.
I want to feel your despair.
So I was about, I want to say about 12, maybe 13 years old. That I want to say that was around that age. I don't know exactly how old I was because it's a fog. But my father sat me and my sister down and pretty much dropped the bomb on us to let us know that he's like, this is how he did it too. So like, we're sitting in the kitchen, my mother is behind him, and then he's like, hey, y'all sit down, I gotta talk to you. Or first he said, we gotta talk to you. And instantly when we sat down, my mom walked into the other room. She left.
Oh, we nothing.
I was like, oh, we?
You got it.
Yeah. So my mom went in the other room. She was like, I'm not doing this. So she went in the other room, and my dad was like, not for nothing. You remember, he started bringing up a story. He's like, you remember, Carlton, when you said you always wanted a little brother?
Oh my God.
And I'm just looking at him like, yeah, like 6 years ago. Like,
you thought he was gonna tell you, oh, your mom was pregnant.
In my mind, I'm like, mom is pregnant? Like, I'm 14. Like, y'all wanted to have a kid now? Like, it don't even make sense. So I'm listening to him, but I'm trying to piece it together. I'm slow, so I'm not understanding the whole concept of what's going on. My dad's like, oh yeah, you got a brother. Now, mind you, my dad and mom had adopted my cousin. So I'm like, okay, yeah, what are you talking about? And he's like, no, you got a brother. And I'm like, okay, where is he? Like, is my mom pregnant? He's like, no, and you got a sister too.
Man, hit you with the double joint.
So I'm like, you telling me me and my sister are like, and I'm sitting there still listening. So my sister she's quicker than me. So she starts and says, so how old are they? They're 11. And instantly my sister's like, you freaking cheated on mom. Scumbag. And she gets up, she goes into the room with mom.
She did the math.
She's doing it now. Mind you, my sister's a year older than me, so she semi remembers certain things that I don't remember.
Okay.
So she remembers when we were younger, and I guess some situations happened that was during that time frame, but I was so little I didn't remember none of this. So this is literally all getting thrown at me at one time. So I'm like, oh my God, like, what? I'm still like when I tell you my face was like this. Like,
you haven't put it together yet.
I'm still trying to process all this. I'm like, what are you talking about? I have a brother and I have a sister that's like
Your sister
three-
figured it out and walked out, and you
she walked out. She left me just like this.
you still at the starting line.
Like I was like, I don't understand what's going on right now. And
I can't deal with it.
so like he's like, I'm like, well, where? I'm like, and so I finally just asked, I was like, well, where are they? He's like, they're in the city. They're in the same city you live in. And I'm just like, okay, what brought this on? Like, why is and
Yeah, why all of a sudden?
why all of a sudden are we finding this out now? Well, we felt like this was the best time to tell you. And I said, why did you feel this was the best time to tell me? And I put this on Scout's Honor. This is what my father tells me. He says, well, you're getting older.
Mhm.
Your sister, not my sister that I grew up with, but my other sister, she's getting older. Y'all live in the same city. I didn't want you to get older and grow up, and then you meet her, and then you want to date her or mess with her, and then it'd be some bigger problems.
Yo, I knew exactly where that was going.
So I'm like, oh my. I'm like, so he wanted to get us to know each other
Just in
before
case.
before I got out of high school, just in case one day I'm like, hey Dad, I want you to meet this girl. Dad? Like,
Wait, what?
Dad? Then it's gonna be some real therapy sessions that we're gonna be doing.
Oh my God. Let me tell you something, man. I know somebody else who I'm not trying to put their business out there, but well, I'm gonna have to because
We just won't use names.
yeah, okay. So I knew this family who a friend of mine was working with this girl and he wanted to date her,
Okay.
right?
Oh God, this is already bad.
Well, he wanted to date her. He changed. Somehow it didn't work out. He changed his mind.
Okay.
He ended up dating somebody else.
Okay.
Right now, they dated for a long time. Fast forward 5 years, and the girl he's dating grandfather dies, and they go to the funeral, and he sees the girl that he almost dated 5 years prior,
Uh-huh.
and it ended up being his wife's sister.
It was his wife. Oh,
It was
his wife's sister.
It was his wife's sister. His father-in-law had a kid out of wedlock. Like he cheated on his wife.
Uh-huh.
And
that's
a kid.
and that's big in back in the day. You'd always find out like later on, like your grandfather passed away or great grandfather passed away. You always kind of little worry about when the funeral happened, who was gonna show up.
Who's gonna show up? So he told me, he's like, "Yo, remember that chick I tried to date?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yo, that's my wife's sister, man." I was like, "What? What?" He's just like, "Yeah." It's like, "Yeah, I did." I did. He said they never talked about her. They never brought her up. They never,
because she from the other side of the track.
Yeah, and then just like, and he said he looked at his wife like, "Yo, why didn't you tell me you had a sister?" And he was like, "Well, that's just something we don't talk about."
And that's the thing.
He was like, "What?"
The secrets eventually come out.
Yeah.
And to the point where once it comes out, you can't like, the problem with it is the parents withhold these secrets. Then finally, they either are forced to tell the kids or they tell them off of like, okay, I got to tell them because it's going to get worse if I don't tell them.
Yeah, eventually.
Like, honestly, when they told me the reason they were telling me, it wasn't because they wanted to tell me. It was because they knew there was a possibility without telling me it could get worse. Because imagine my sister, my sister I grew up with, dating my half brother.
It would have been weird as hell. Like,
come on.
And my thing is, I thought you were going to say that when you said, "Well, where are they?" I thought you were going to say it was your cousins that stayed with you.
Oh, I knew that was my
okay.
that was my mom's sister. So like I knew that was
I was like, "Yo,
he came from a whole nother state." So
okay,
but the fact is, parents got to stop sitting there saying, "Oh, I'm doing it for this kid." No, you're doing it for your own self. Because the fact is, kids actually understand things better at a young age, and as they get more time to develop and understand it even better, they can accept it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
because I don't think
When have you
I-
ever seen a little kid not accept somebody? Like I'm talking about like a 5, 6 year old. I'm talking about you could show a 6 year old a gay dude, a tranny, sorry, getting all these notifications. Um, lesbians, anybody who's just not the social norm, and they will accept them because at the end of the day, it's like, okay, this what that is, cool.
yeah, because
But if you
they
try
haven't learned any of that social
judgmental, that's what it
judgment.
is.
Yeah, they haven't learned any of that
See,
yet.
by the time I was 14, I was already judging the hell out of people.
Yeah,
So you trying to tell me something, and then the thing is, the thing is, parents are literally just trying to be doing the best they can. I get that, but they want their kids to not know how much of a screw up they are. That's what it is. Let's keep it real.
and the thing is they're gonna figure that out sooner or later. If you keep making mistakes and things like that, or keep making
ain't-
decisions
Yes.
to end up in these situations, they're gonna figure it out.
They're gonna figure it out one way or another, whether it's while they're living with you or when they're not living with you. They're gonna realize you are not perfect. You
Yeah.
are a human being. But for some reason, parents want to make themselves look perfect, and it ends up hurting the child in the long run. Now, did you have any lasting effects from your little? I don't even call yours. Yours is like a little squirmish. It ain't even that serious. Mine was like some real. Like I
So
question.
My question is how does your mother still kind of give your father hell for that? Or do he
No,
she
she has since then. Of course, she forgiven because they're still married today, happily married.
Yeah.
Shout out
You could
mom,
get-
shout out dad. But I will say that for the longest time, their relationship, I didn't understand it.
Okay.
It was different to me because I was like, why is it like this?
Because you didn't have that bit of information.
I didn't have I didn't have the pieces to
Yeah.
understand why this was the way
of stuff probably made sense after you figured that out.
Yeah, but it did. It definitely made a lot more sense to me. And then it's still always a sore spot, but my mom has a good relationship with my half sister.
Well, it's gonna be a sore spot because I'm assuming your parents are married at the time.
They're still married. Yes.
When the kid, it's gonna be a sore spot because no offense to your younger siblings, they're like a constant reminder of what he did. Yeah. Unfortunately,
it is. But you know what?
It is, but it ain't their fault. It's not.
It's no child's fault for why parents do what they do. Human beings are not perfect, so they're gonna make mistakes. But it is the parents' fault when you make a mistake and you don't handle it properly. You try to handle it in the best way you see fit, but sometimes I think a lot of times people see it fit because they want to do the most easiest thing that for them, for what makes them feel comfortable.
And for the parents, you have to do it for yourself too. Because I know parents who've told me it's like they hate one of their childs because they remind them. Yeah.
Oh God. Oh,
they remind them of the dude that they used to be with. You know what I'm saying?
You sure they ain't they baby daddy?
Listen,
I've had that happen. My mother did that once where she was like, you know what? She was mad at my father and she was like, I was like, what's wrong with you? Why you mean mugging me? And she was like, you look like your father right now. I just want to hit you. And I'm like, who does that? Why? Tell me, ladies, what is the obsession with you telling your child that looks like the dude you laid up with that you mad at them because they look like him?
It's like, what? Was your father was nowhere around, was he?
No, she didn't say that in front of him. She said it in front of me by myself.
And that's the thing. It's just you just look like you. Yeah, you look like him. You sound like him. You talk like him. You move like him. So it might as well be him at this point.
I want you're the less I guess like she knows she can't pull that with my father. So like I'm the younger version of it. So she can be like, you can't do nothing. Like,
she go throw uppercuts at you. You just gotta eat them.
It's just something and I get it. Like sometimes women's emotions can get to where it don't even have to make sense. It just makes sense to them.
Well, the person I was talking about is I didn't. Another secret too. I didn't know this about this person either.
Yeah.
I know this person for years, and I thought she had 4 kids. I thought all her kids were by one man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 2 of them were by a different man.
Did they know?
No, I don't think they knew.
The men?
I don't think they knew.
See, that's crazy.
So
man.
I just happened to find out through a conversation because she was mad at her daughter, right? But like it wasn't the anger wasn't warranted. It was just
she was mad at her daughter, so she just spilled it all.
Well, because I was like, she was mad at her daughter about something. I was like, man, like I understand you upset, but I was like, you on a little overkill.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on? He said, sometimes she was like, sometimes I get mad, really mad because she looks like the dude I used to be with. And I was like, wait.
No, they don't know. What's crazy is they actually think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like ladies actually believe I can be mad at my kid because you look like the person I want to be mad at.
Yeah, and she admitted to me. So she's like, I had these kids with the first 2 kids with this one dude. I wanted to be with him. I wanted to be married to him. He didn't want to get married.
No, you know what it is? Their child is a constant reminder that that's all she was worth. She was only good enough to have his kid. Yeah. She was never good enough to be his wife.
Yeah, and it made sense because every time she would get mad at her at the first 2 kids, it was like explosive anger.
Yeah,
and I'd be like, man, she really mad. I'd be like, and I didn't have that information at the time. I'm like, and I went to one day, I was like, man, you going too hard at these kids. Like, what's going on?
Mental health is crucial out here in the world.
You have to work through it, not just for your kids, but for yourself.
Now, the one that I was talking to earlier about the lady who's adopted, this is her story on how back in the day, her family was almost secretive. Not that she was secretive about being adopted. Her adopted family always told her she was adopted. So she never had an issue with being adopted. She accepted it because she was like, cool, this is what it is. Y'all love me. Y'all accept me. Cool. And it's not a secret. But what it was her biological mother. They were all Italian. Her biological, the mother's dad had her sent away to Italy to have the child. Okay. So the neighborhood would not know she had actually had a kid. Then put the kid up for adoption in Italy. And then she came back to America without child.
Oh, okay. So this was in a time period where being pregnant,
it was a shame to the family. Okay. We were not. They were gonna say, we're gonna, not only are we gonna hide this baby, but we're gonna hide this baby to the whole community. You're not pregnant. Nope. This never happened. Okay. You're gonna go on a vacation, and then this.
I'm gonna say that because that's extreme. It's into a whole different country.
So the funny thing is, so she flies. They fly her to Italy. She has the baby. She leaves the baby, put the baby up for adoption. She flies back to America. The family, the adopted family wanted, they're white people. I don't know why they thought this was they were Italian. They wanted an Italian baby. So where you go to get an Italian baby? You go to Italy.
Go to home
so
base.
She went to Italy and they got the kid from Italy and brought him back to America. So it's just one of them things that, like, even still, it was like parents just want this isn't the girl that wanted to do this. This is the parent trying to hide for the rest of the community that my daughter, because she was young, like 14, 15 type thing.
So yeah,
that didn't happen. We're out of sight, out of mind. We're gonna get rid of this problem.
I mean, I hate to say it, could have been worse. They could have had her aborted, I should say, because she's still alive. So hey, that is extreme.
Isn't it? That's crazy. Ain't it? Hey, if you're still watching, go ahead and put a like, share, comment, subscribe. Let us know anything y'all want us to talk about for future videos. And if you want to go ahead and support the channel, your boy ain't gonna be mad at you. Go and hit us the Cash App right there. The Social Norm Podcast. The money sign in front. We ain't gonna be mad. Just a couple dollars, a little change,
little love offering.
It don't even really matter. But I'm telling you right now. Today, I heard the craziest story about secrets. So, I get with my little crew, we talking, and come to find out, we found out about somebody to where this person had a child with a married person.
She knew he was married at the time.
No,
Okay.
but they didn't talk. They never told about the situation to the wife.
Oh, so she got pregnant and the wife don't
The
know
wife don't know
to this day.
to this day. The child has a grows up, doesn't know the situation, doesn't know if I doesn't know. At what point is this gonna explode?
When the child wants to meet the father.
Because it's crazy, and I think about this. I'm like, what do you think is going to happen? Like as a man, imagine you having a child outside of your marriage, and you never bring it up to your wife, your kids, nothing. They don't know nothing about it. It happens all the time where you got, dude, you be 25, 30, and they say, oh yeah, somebody, like I remember one dude told me a story about how he was in the airport and somebody was sitting next to him and he had the same last name. And he's just like, man, you look familiar. We look real similar. Come to find out, they chopped it up, He found out that his father had a marriage before him, his mother and he had a child, and he pretty much deserted them.
Oh,
And at 35 years old, he found out he had a whole nother brother.
listen.
And the dad was like, yeah, that was my former marriage. Like he acted like it was just a normal thing. Like it was not that serious.
Listen, somehow the universe will bring it back together.
What is done in the dark will always come to light.
Exactly. That is fact.
And so I just see these stories and I'm just thinking, how are we going to give these kids an actual shot to trust and to have? You want your kid to be trusting. You want your kid to be loyal. You want your kid to not have these mental fuck ups. Be honest with them. Be honest with yourself. They will understand. They love you.
And give them a chance.
You got to give them a chance, dude.
At least meet the father.
Because
I mean, the whole letting the wife know, that's a whole.
But this is the thing. No, the father probably knows. He knows. He just don't want to be. He don't want his life to be exploded because he wants, which is crazy to me because I would have thought, any woman who is not getting accepted by the man who's having the baby, she would just blow up everything. Like, all right, I'm telling everybody.
I respect it. I ain't gonna lie to you. To be quiet this whole time.
Use a real.
How old is the child?
We're gonna say all that. Let's just say
it's old enough to understand.
Old enough to understand what they
that
okay.
Situation is the child old enough to be like, where's my father? You know what I mean?
It's getting there. They're almost at that point where they would ask, but they maybe he could shun it away.
Sooner or later, it's gonna come up, whether on purpose or on accident or
It's and not only that, it's gonna come up even more as they get more developed and more because they're gonna start seeing their whole surroundings of how everybody else lives their life. Where's my, and at this point, let's say they get to be 13, 14, around the time I got hit with my bombshell. Are you going to sit there and tell them the truth? Or are you going to sit there and lie? That's the choice you got to have to make. And I know there's a lot of people out there that would say, I would act like the person's dead. I'm thinking that's crazy because once again, if this guy has children, what I tell you, energies can find each other. You could end up having your child grow up and their child and his child grow up and they end up connecting together in a physical way, and that right there is some therapy you cannot fix. You're gonna pay a lot of money to fix.
On the flip side of that is this: let's say this person says, well, your father's dead. Let's say he decides, you know what, I've been out of this child's life, I want to make up for it. I want to meet my child. And then all of a sudden he shows up. Now you looking bad. You looking like a liar because you told this child that he was dead.
Yeah, I think I don't know, man. Just start doing the right thing. I don't
Listen.
think I feel so bad because I'm so happy I ain't never gotten these situations.
Listen, I'm not having that hang over my head.
Every day, this man's got to be ready to expect that his life's just going to get turned
Gonna
upside
switch.
down.
And the older he gets,
It's coming. It's coming like a storm.
and let's say, okay, I don't know how old this dude is. Let's say he's 40. And all of a sudden, the lady comes up, tells the wife, well, this is his kid. At 40, it's gonna hit you harder. It's gonna be harder to recover from that than when you're younger.
Your whole at this point, it's like being in a marriage and you find out from the beginning of your marriage, you've been married for 15 years, and you find out for 14 and a half years he been cheating on you. And he got another kid. Your life is destroyed. The whole marriage is a lie.
I know somebody, forgive me, I'm not gonna say no names. She met this dude, they got married, they had a kid. This dude had a whole nother family in another state. It was crazy.
And didn't speak nothing about the
Didn't
family.
say nothing about it.
And like I said, we were talking earlier about being a victim and how society sees women as victims a lot more than they see men. Men just can't be victims for some reason in America. But that's some scumbag shit. You a scumbag if you have a whole family and you do not speak on that. Like people are like, oh, that's not lying. Yes, it is. If you have a family, immediate family, you gotta let people know. Because what if you just up and I wonder how many men back in like the 1950s actually just got up and left, go a couple states over and just start a whole new family.
I would imagine it was easier back then. Just you can't find me. Ain't no Facebook, ain't no social media, ain't no,
or not even that. I remember I've heard of back in the day when they used to do, one guy would live in New York and he'd work out in California. He got a whole nother family in California. I'm talking about he would literally have 2 wives, 2 kids, and they never knew nothing about it until he died. And even then, they might not even know.
Meeting at a funeral, like, who are you? Or I'm his wife.
And the thing is, as you keep going further with it, it's like you got to juggle more lies.
Yeah, you're getting tangled up in that web of lies. Like sooner or later, it's
going to explode, and it's going to explode by not even something you just even think about. Because nowadays you can't even do no mess like that. Women are too curious about where you move and where you are, your movements, for you to even get away with that.
And with technology, you leave a digital footprint everywhere. It doesn't matter.
Now,
as long as you got this is a tracking device right here.
Yeah.
As long as you got this, they'll find you.
And I just, I think it's something to say in this society to where we just don't want to accept being not perfect. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, they want to preserve that image, especially your child.
To your child,
because they look up to you and they admire you. Hopefully, admire you and things like that. They want you to be that, like you said, that perfect image. Like,
but this is the thing: when you're trying to present a perfect image to your child, and then you try to demand a perfect image from them, and then they find out you're not perfect. You understand what that makes a kid like? They think, well, what else is a fucking lie?
And they're not gonna listen.
Then you find out Santa Claus is fake, Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy. Wait a minute. So what else is you lying about?
Let me tell you something about that. I will say this about my parents. They kept it real. I learned about Santa Claus at school, right? So I went home and I was like, Mom, who's Santa Claus? First words out of my mother's mouth, he ain't real.
That's cold-blooded. Because my parents, this is the thing, and this is why I would think I was very sheltered when it comes to certain things like this, because they kept that lie going for a while. And I think I was hella old for believing in Santa Claus. Like I probably was, man, I had to be at least 10, 11.
Wow, really?
I was that old believing that Santa Claus was
and
a
nobody
real
was
thing.
like, yo,
no, this what happened. So what happened was my father, once again, hit me with a bombshell and just was like, I'm like, yeah, Santa Claus. Now, mind you, this is the sick and twisted thing that he would do. When we were little,
yes,
he told us, they tell the story about Santa Claus and all that, right? He brings the good kids, presents and stuff.
Uh-huh.
He told us with a straight face that when Santa comes for Christmas on Christmas Eve, he goes into each kid's room to see if they're sleeping. If they're not sleeping, he fucking throws hot coals of ash into their eyes and blinds them.
That's not even part of the story.
This
Where did
is what
get
I don't know where this psychotic man came up with this story.
That's not
But
even close to
no,
the story.
no, when I tell you from a little kid, I hated Christmas Eve because when I would go to sleep and I finally lay in the bed, I would do this. I would literally keep my eyes so tight that it hurted. Like I was strained because I was so scared.
Y'all getting migraines at night because you
Who you fucking telling, dude? I literally was like, you know what? I know he's standing there waiting. Like imagine waiting like if you open your fucking eyes, I'm gonna fucking blind the shit out of you. Like I'm thinking these hot coals.
That's not even this. Oh my god!
I don't even know what the real story is, but this is what black people do. We tell crazy stories so kids will not get up out the bed and catch you in a lie. So that's the web they web
the web they weave. There you
go. To control the situation. So mind you, every Christmas I'm doing this, just to close my eyes. I really believe this wholehearted. Like this is a fact. And then when we get to I was probably, like I said, about 10, 11. I'm like, yeah, Christmas. I'm like, oh, thanks, Santa. He's like, I'm tired of this shit. Look, Santa ain't real. I'm the one buying these goddamn presents. You gonna start giving me credit for this? I was like, what? I was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, Mom, what is he talking about? He's like,
he told you this on Christmas?
Yes. It was like, he's like, no. She's like, Carl, come on. No, he need to know this. I'm tired of this. He too old. He too old for this.
Yo.
And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, what else is you lying to me about?
Oh my God.
He said your dad just like
traumatizing you.
Oh yeah. That's literally what he just dropped the mic on me every single time.
That is hilarious.
And then now mind you, I'm 32 years old now. Fast forward, when I try to bring these things up to tell him like why I am the way I am, he be like, hey, I did what I did. You need to get over that shit. You need to get over that shit. That shit is in the past. Ain't nothing you can do with that. You need to figure that out for yourself. Cause I got you to where this point.
That's for you and God. That's for you and
I'm
God.
like, you got me to this point. Like going to counseling? Like what is wrong?
And here go the thing. Like when my parents did that, I almost ruined Christmas for my niece and nephew.
Oh,
because they were talking about Santa and
you're like, you don't know how we doing this?
My nephew's like 12. My wife's
talking about
12, talking about it. I'm like, Santa Claus, he ain't. It almost said he ain't real. I almost said it.
And what they do, they give you the eye like.
I was like, he ain't.
Don't say that.
He ain't here right now. I had to clean that up.
No, because let me just explain to you, and I understand it. Every parent who's watching this, y'all go ahead and hit a like for this. You take it to it. You really do some freaking acting. Like he was like, okay, they come in. You'd hear like hidden shit, and then you would leave. You leave the cookies and the milk, and you write, and then you write a little note, and then he would eat the cookies and drink the milk, or leave like a little milk. Like he drank all the milk, and he'd write a little note like, "All right, y'all stay good for 20, or no, y'all stay good for 1998, thanks for the cookies." And I just was like, "Oh my God, he wrote," and then all the toys would be there. So like, it really did make you think like it was real, but the way they like, for some reason, my father doesn't have an easy way to just tell you things. He has to like.
I don't think no parent. I had to say, I don't think no black parent has a. Mine was like, he ain't real. Like,
okay, but this is the thing.
Street,
but the way he told me, he was mad.
Yeah, my parents are mad.
I'm getting this blunt. Like, no, I paid all this money. I bought them damn games. I'm like,
because man, how would you feel if you bought something for your kid and then somebody else getting the credit for it?
And you competing against an imaginary person that you can't even win because he's like jolly and
magical. He brings you stuff.
I'm like, thank you, Santa, for the PS5.
Like, Santa, what?
Fuck Santa, So
that nigga ain't real.
That was just little things that I grew up with that made me question. Like to this day,
your father took it to the extreme though. Hot coals in your eyes. That's not even.
And no. This is the sick part about all this. he and the parents, y'all know y'all do this. He's in denial. He's in denial that he even told us this story. And I'm like, what child can make this shit up? I can't make this up if I tried, y'all.
Listen, he's like, prove it.
Prove it. Look at these cataracts from my eyes straining so hard. Like, and I asked my sister, I'm like, there's other things that's been going on. I don't spill the tea on everything, but there was other things that you just, as you get older, that's why he'd be like, hey, I got you. I got you grown. It's on you.
Exactly.
It's on you.
And sometimes as kids, you just gotta accept it. There are things my parents did. I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm grown.
And I thought
it is what it is. I'm over it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the thing is, to grow, you have to accept. The one thing I can accept that I didn't realize, as much as I was trying to blame my parents from things that was going on with me, I had to realize they only doing the best they can do. And that's what most parents always try to do, is they try to do their best. Whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, they meant their best.
Yeah. And you got to remember, different generations raise their kids differently. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, our grandparents grew up in a different generation, so they raised our parents off of what they learned.
Like my parents grew up in a generation, your parents grew up in a generation where like kids really stayed in their place. They did not ask questions. If they asked any of those questions, they got slapped in the mouth.
What'd you say? Shh. Go in the room.
Don't you ever sit there and ask me about my business, about where I've been.
Exactly.
Like I remember I used to always ask my father, like, where y'all headed to? There's no grown folks where they going.
Exactly.
Like, okay, so yeah, you die. I guess I just had to tell the police. I don't know what the hell going on.
When my parents had like parties and stuff, and adults came over, they would make us play in the basement the whole time.
Yeah, don't y'all
come upstairs.
Y'all got y'all snacks. You got the games. Don't come upstairs.
Exactly.
You come upstairs, you were to go to use the bathroom. That's it.
That's all we were allowed to. We weren't allowed in the living room, none of that stuff. Now kids
they just be there.
They be
taking shots, and the kid right there sitting there playing a video game. Like,
exactly.
Hey, uncle. So
exactly what they do.
Oh man,
these weaklings.
We gotta do better, y'all. We gotta do better. Anything else you want to talk about?
I wasn't going to talk about this situation where, just real quick. So I saw this video online. I told you about this already.
Okay, go ahead.
I saw this video online where this dude and this girl met, right?
Mm-hmm.
They ended up going out. They ended up having sex. The girl got pregnant. They both decide, you know what? We don't want to keep this baby.
Yep.
So the dude gives the girl money for an abortion. She takes the money.
Real gentleman.
Yeah. She takes the money, doesn't get an abortion. 9 months later, she shows up with the baby. Tell me, hey, this your kid. You need to support it.
Okay, you ready?
Go ahead.
I got 2 questions.
All right.
One, what'd you spend with my money? Where my goddamn money at? That's the first question.
What'd you do with it?
The second is, do I look like Boo Boo the fucking fool? I'm not taking care of none of these babies that we already had the agreements. It's done. Don't sit there and try to think that I'm about to go ahead and jump on this like you about to catch me or something. How many other men you've been doing this to? Your whole credibility is done. This need to be a crime. I feel like she should go to jail for something like this, because right then, if I didn't know you, we went and like had our situation. Like that's why I say there's no rights for men to just get out of fatherhood. It's all on if a woman wants. Like I really do feel like in a first world country, like women have way more rights than men.
Oh yeah, especially when it comes to
and we created it,
pregnancy and things like that. Like you have no say.
Like
you barely even get to name the child. You just there to sign the birth certificate.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can't, and that's crazy to me. Like it's she's holding my seed captive. I can't even get it back from you if I wanted to. Like what? Why do you get to make all?
Captive?
Yes, that's what she's doing. She's raping my seed. I don't even get to say like, hey, what do you? I can't be like, hey, I want to do this. No, I gotta be like, so what are you thinking? You think we can maybe go ahead and go our separate ways. You live your life. No, you want to be a succubus, and because you feel like somebody got like. Soon as she realized who you are and what you got, she's like, no, I think I'm gonna have this baby. Oh, now you want to have this baby because now, for what reason?
Shay, real quick. She said, "Rape your seed." Real quick, Shay. Now, do you think this man should support this child?
Or should she be stuck being a single mother, which is probably the best thing she ever gonna be? She ain't gonna go. Anybody who does something like that will never be. Never. No man will ever want to take care of her.
Because the person who told the story online was a female, and she agreed with the man and said he shouldn't have to take care of that child.
Did she? No, you said when they did the 9 months, did he know she was still pregnant going 9 months? Or
I don't
just
think
found out.
I don't think he knew because in the story she said she just showed back up.
You show back with a baby, it ain't my baby. Take me to Maury, take me to Jerry Springer, whatever you gotta do. I'm not accepting that as mine.
Oh, the DNA test definitely coming out. That's where you start. Like, okay,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll pick up and leave. I'm leaving the state. I'm leaving the state. You ain't gonna catch me. You're not gonna trap me. You're raping my time, and energy, and resources. You are
rape though.
I have no say in it. Is that not what rape is? When you don't have a say in something and they force it on you? They force sex. I'm just asking, ladies. Y'all tell me, fellas. Go ahead and put in the comment section. Let us know. I don't think it's right that men in America do not have the same rights as women. Y'all talking about this equal rights. Let's all be equal. Well, let's go ahead and be equal then. See, that's drastic. Why is it drastic? It ain't like we were literally talking about this today. Everybody in this day right now, a man can't even consider being considered rape. Like people laugh at men when they like, hey, this girl raped me.
Well, yeah, like sexual assault and rape. Like I said earlier, that is a man crime.
Cardi B drugged men for money, robbed them, and everybody laughed at it. Bill Cosby give a couple girls some drugs, and then later on, because their career wasn't good enough, they want to go ahead 40 years later and put the man under the prison. But that makes sense. Make it make sense to me. I'm just saying, it's crazy out here in these streets. Like I've had experienced it, where women because they got mad, they took advantage of men. I know countless stories of it. You've seen it.
Yeah.
It's like a man we have to walk on a tightrope with women because we're scared to sit there and make them mad. Because all it takes, the lady could be dead face lying. She can lie about being raped, man go to jail, find out he was lying, and guess what? She don't even go to jail for it.
Yeah.
If she do, she might get fined. She might have to do a little time. She won't do the time he did.
There needs to be a certain level of checks and balances when it comes to that. Those rape allegations, especially when they prove that it never happened.
It's something real weird in society where women, when a person cannot be held accountable for anything they do. What standard are you setting when only one sex is held accountable truly? We had somebody who committed a crime a couple years ago to where y'all remember the Clinton escape? 2 inmates from New York State Clinton Correction Facility escaped with the help of a female because she brought in contraband to help them aid them into an escape. Cost the state $30 million. Endangered the community. Let 2 convicted murderers out. 1 man got killed from it.
The other one got shot.
Other one got shot and fatally almost died. All right. And she ended up getting 6 years. I think she did 3.
Yeah, she's out now.
She's out. She's living her life.
This happened back in 2015. She got out
in 2018.
18. Yeah.
3 years. $30 million.
Changed the whole prison game up.
From then on. But let that been a man do that. He would still be in prison to this day.
Well, here goes the thing, too. If a lot of people don't notice that, but if a male officer has sex with a female inmate, he goes to jail. and he gets charged.
Oh, I forgot to say that she was having sex with the inmates.
Yeah, he goes to jail, and he gets charged with rape.
Because in the United States, inmate, which is a
Incarcerated
individual has no rights for consent.
Yeah.
So that means anybody who had sex in a prison will be considered rape. That's what it's considered. So she technically raped these guys, but they didn't charge her with that, did they? No, because she's a victim. She's oh well, you know, they coerced me into doing this. When are we gonna start? If women and men are gonna be considered equal in this world, in America, when are we gonna start saying, okay, ladies, you're gonna be held accountable for your actions?
Now, I was told. Now, this is what was explained to me. The reason why women typically don't get charged with rape because rape has to involve
penetration.
Some sort of penetration. That's why.
Well, then they need to change the rules of rape.
They don't. That's why they don't get.
So because they can't have. So because. So what you telling me is the only way a woman can rape a man is if she stick her finger in his booty hole? Is that what you telling me?
There you go.
I'm gonna give y'all a scenario. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Man goes to a party, starts drinking, gets a little drunk, all right? To the point where he's all, man, I'm feeling, I'm about to pass out. You know what? I'm going in this room and lay it down. He goes, lays down, blacks out, wakes up mid, and all he sees is a woman getting up out the bed, putting her pants on, walking out the door. He's like, damn, what the fuck this? I know she didn't. I don't even remember none of that. Wakes up. Next day, 2 to 3 weeks go by. She comes back and says, hey, I'm pregnant. What do you mean you pregnant? Yeah, we had sex. How the fuck we have sex? I was passed out. Hey, I took your hands off. I jumped on top of it. At what point is that not rape? And the thing is, he can't even prove it because no one is going to sit there and believe that woman raped him.
No one's going to believe it.
What, like it's almost as, this is just as bad as back in the 1900s and 1920s, 1940s, 1950s, when a black man was like, look, man, I didn't touch that girl. Yes, you did. I know you did, nigger. You did it. Because they already, you're guilty because of who you are, not because of what makes sense. You already guilty. She couldn't have did. This is a precious little one, angel. She would never do that.
That's like Emmett Till
for whistling.
And
he come by, he didn't even whistle.
He didn't even do it.
And that's what I'm saying. You've seen countless times where this has been abused because they see it can be abused. All I gotta do is say it, and you're gonna believe it. Because you already don't, in society, we've already accepted that there's no way a man could be a victim. So if we're already putting that in the world that men cannot be victims in first world countries, and women cannot be the perpetrator, what's the even point for the justice system? You might as well just lock every man up.
Well, there's also that stigmatism too. Like if a man, I've seen this online too, if a man, like I said, a woman wants to have sex with a man and he doesn't want to have sex, there's something wrong with him.
He's gay.
You
know what? You're probably, what's wrong with you? Something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Because she don't want to take accountability that, you know what? Maybe your pussy stink. And I don't fucking want to deal with you.
Well, I was going to say, well, maybe he just not interested. He could just not be interested in you.
And her pussy could be stinking too. It doesn't really matter what the case may be. Every man don't want to see. The thing is, women want to feel desirable, and they think every man should desire them. No, just because we want to stick our dicks and everything, don't mean we want to be every girl's desirable to us, to every man. Now, the crazy thing about it, back to what I was saying, in America, first world countries, men have made it run so efficiently that women have gotten more rights than men in this world. And then the funny thing is, women are held more accountable in third world countries than they are in the first world countries. If a woman was to do something wrong or despicable, they would charge her and hold her to the full extent in the third world country. They wouldn't sit there and say, well, she's so innocent. Look, think about this. R. Kelly. Oh, he brainwashed me. Are y'all fucking kidding me? How many times are we going to sit there and accept this brainwashing thing on ladies to why men are the real perpetrators, and women, she's a victim. I already said, you know that right now they're going through that what's that damn Whore Island or whatever that shit was.
The Epstein
The
joint.
Epstein.
Yeah.
The lady going through trial right now. I bet money she getting charged for what? Sex trafficking, minors, all these different things. Bet money she don't check this. She's supposed to be doing what? 40, 50, 60 years for this? Guaranteed she don't do 5.
No,
If she even get found guilty.
because
she-
they want names. Honestly,
Oh, she
I
gonna
think
tell them.
she want names.
She gonna give them names up too.
And I need to go back and look because somebody told me. I heard Chris Tucker was one of them. I heard, yeah, I know.
Not everybody hates Chris.
Chris Tucker. No, that's Chris Rock.
Oh, you
I'm
said
talking
Chris.
about Chris Rock. That's
Oh,
Rush Hour.
Friday.
Yeah, I heard he one of them.
Damn, Chris.
And I told you about this earlier. Corey Holcomb was saying you can tell who with the program and who not.
Mhm.
Okay, so if you see this person like on a movie and then you don't see them no more, that person ain't with the program.
Mm.
But if all of a sudden this person blowing up all of a sudden,
They
with the
Nas.
program. Think about it. Chris Rock did what first? Or Chris Tucker did what first?
Friday.
What do you do after that?
I want to say he did Money Talks.
Money Talks. And then he did Rush Hour. And it just kept going.
He did. He had
Fifth
Rush
Element.
Hour, Rush Hour 2, Rush
Yep.
Hour 3.
Fifth Element. He started to,
He was killing it.
he was killing it all of a sudden. I was like, that makes sense.
So are we saying Chris Tucker's success was based off of because he was in this little cult of sleeping with minor women?
I'm thinking that's
What you think?
That's what I think.
That's sick if that is.
I'm thinking.
Damn, Chris. You
'cause
gotta do
go
better.
from Friday to boom. You up here in Hollywood.
I
now.
mean, he's a talented man.
he
I'm
is
not-
talented. I gotta give him that.
We had this, and then I was gonna say this for a whole nother episode, but we had this argument about the whole, the Weinsteins, the what's his name,
Epstein.
Epstein,
The Steins.
where the whole process of quo quo, what's that?
Quid pro quo.
Quid
yeah.
pro quo, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I don't see an issue with it because the thing is, I feel like this whole world is based off of quid pro quo. You say it because I keep messing
Quid
tongue.
pro quo. And
There you
our point was it shouldn't be like that. That's why it's illegal.
But who made it illegal though?
The government, you can't. Everything needs to be off your merit, off your skill,
Answer me this.
off your work,
And when has that ever happened? We had Donald Trump as our goddamn president. You can't sit there and tell me that it's based off of your work. It's based off of popularity. It's based off of what can you bring to the table.
Well, the president, that's a whole different.
Oh, now it's a whole different because the president.
Because you're voted in. That's not.
You think that's what you think?
Well, supposedly
The
voted
sheep.
in. Supposedly voted in.
Look, everybody's got a price, and if you ain't willing to pay the price, then you don't get into the club. Unfortunately, we didn't make the rules.
No.
And I say this now. Somebody brought it up to me. It's like, well, what about slavery? Slavery was, kind of like that, where the people who were in power, they got to decide the rules, and a lot of people suffer from it. You're right, and eventually the rules get changed. But a lot of people who change those rules gonna take the L for the future, and that's what happened. Look at Terry Crews. Terry Crews said, "Hey, he complained about dude groping him. Everybody laughed at him. Everybody sat there and said, "Man, you a grown man. You did it." They didn't use him as a victim. They said, "Hey, you pretty much you too big to be getting groped by another man."
Yeah, he is too big to be getting groped by
See?
another man.
And-
He's huge, man.
But think about this. When the last time you seen Terry Crews in a movie? Since that situation.
I'm trying to think.
He ain't in the club no more.
He ain't no.
They wanted him in the club. They tested him, and he said, "No, that ain't me, bro." And matter of fact, get your hands off me like that. If I had to put the paws on you. Some people say slavery was voluntary. Who say that
I
nonsense?
think Kanye. She right. Somebody did say that. I think.
Okay. Well, let me just say this. If you mean voluntary in the sense that yes, we did as a people, as people, they did kind of
I mean,
accept.
I think Kanye West said it.
They say Kanye did say
There you
that.
go.
This thing, if you think about it in retrospect, for the most part, every black person did accept the situation as what it was. There was black people who fought for it, fought against it, and they got reprimanded. They got, they had moments where they would put body, stretch them out with horses and rip their body apart, set them on fire. They do all these different things to try to keep everybody in line, keep them in the same position. Now, yes, if every single black slave would have said, fuck this, guess what? Slavery would have ended that day
Now I'll say this
in America.
for the people who are born into slavery,
That's what it is.
I can see what that I can see. Okay, I see what you're saying there, because that's all they know.
That's all.
That's their life.
You were born this way, so you just don't see nothing different. It's just like you born in your dad's your uncle. You don't know no other better. You're like, okay, this is what it is.
Yeah.
Now the neighborhood might be like, man, that family fucked up, but you don't know otherwise because you're like, hey, I don't see the problem with it.
Exactly. Because you're conditioned
But
to it.
they say it's not right, but I just say, look, if you don't want to be in that game, don't be in that game. In the sense of, if they tell you, hey, for you to be a movie star, for you to get this role, you're gonna have to let me finger your booty. I'm gonna be like, hey man, there's other roles. I don't need that role, bro. Like, it's okay, you got it. It sucks, but hey, it wasn't meant for me. Something else is greater meant for me. But the people who didn't and said, okay, man, just one knuckle and let them do it, guess what? They are on the movie screens and they have to live with that. They were willing to go that far. Because, like, think about it. There's guys out there right now who do gay porn who are not gay. Think about this nonsense. They will be willing to do these things just for money and fame. I don't know who this is. Spam. I don't know. Whatever.
It's a spam.
Yeah. Now we about an hour in.
Yeah.
Once again, y'all know I'm ignorant, but y'all need to go ahead and put a like, share, and subscribe. Share this video. Let people see it. Let other people go ahead and see the nonsense that the social norm is what we do.
See how much of a heathen Canteen is.
And
Quid pro quo. That is so wrong.
if you believe in quid pro pro, go ahead and hit that Cash App. You know what I mean? Hit
if
your
you
boy.
believe it, if they give you Cash App, then what are you gonna do for them?
I'm gonna shout. If you go ahead and put the Cash App in there, I will shout y'all out on the episodes.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Quid pro pro. And at the end of the day, I think the world, I hate to say it, but the world runs better when it's like that. Like, you think about this, everybody does it. And I'm talking about everybody. It ain't even about in a professional setting. In life, every man has to pay to play for the most part. And every woman wants to get paid to have to get laid. So, like, in some form, you got to give them something. There's no lady that wants to give up the cookie without getting something in return. Whether it's you giving them some cuddling, you give them some time, some conversation, take them to the movies, take them out to dinner, something. You got to give them something. You can't just be like, hey, drop them drawers. And she just be like, okay. I ain't lying. Come on, man.
We're talking about. I see what you're saying.
If you don't want to play the game, don't get in that profession. I don't make the rules.
It shouldn't be like that. That's
Well,
why people get in trouble for it.
Okay, then you know what you do? Like, you know what you do? You become Tyler Perry. You create your own studio. You create your own brand.
That's exactly why he did it.
And you do it how you see fit. And then you bring those people who didn't want to put the knuckles in, who didn't want to take a knuckle.
His shows are trash. Anyway, I see what you're saying.
I'm gonna say it's a good job for Tyler Perry. They say his shows are trash.
They are trash. I'm sorry.
You just a hater, dude. Hater.
But if you were to hire me, I would do it.
Which one? You talking about the knuckles?
No, no. What the hell? No.
Oh man. Let's see. Comments. I know, y'all. It's been a long week. The wings are trash. Oh, the wigs are trash.
Thank you. Shay don't understand.
The wigs
garbage.
Is that a show? The wigs?
No.
Or is they saying that the wigs on the women's hair?
The wigs, just the storylines. It is just.
Why can't sometimes y'all just accept that black folks sometimes gonna have a little less in it? like the money and production. Sometimes we need to go ahead and we trying to get there.
Listen, I'm fine with the production and stuff like I need a better storyline.
Okay,
That's
well,
where I'm at.
unfortunately, all the best writers sometimes are getting bought out by the people who telling them, "Hey, spread them and give me a knuckle." I don't know, and it might be in every form and fashion. You know what I'm saying? Think about this: the high-paying jobs, the jobs that everybody wants. Say there's a zillion writers. There's a zillion writers out there that's trying to get signed by a movie deal, TV show, whatever. You got to give up something for them to just put you in the room, man.
That's true.
Why? Like, there's so many different ideas. Why would I need to just choose yours? Unless you're gonna go out there, and that's what's good about YouTube and the internet and the metaverse and all that stuff. You can create whatever you want to create. You know what I mean? You can invest in yourself and do what you want to do, and then if people fuck with it, they fuck with it. Just like y'all, man. Y'all fuck with us, so we go ahead, keep putting out content. But if you don't, you know what I mean, and you want to get somebody else who created their own brand, which is the guy who's saying take one knuckle or two, you're gonna pretty much have to go and listen to what he tells you to do.
I can't deal with you, man.
I'm just saying.
And he does need to write. He does need to talk about something else.
Ooh.
Tyler Perry, it's the same.
Y'all gonna leave Tyler Perry alone. He said, yeah, but that shouldn't be the only option. It isn't the only option.
That's the point. That's what I'm trying to tell him. You shouldn't have to bend over just to get it.
Okay, time out. What I'm saying is this: there's different levels. There's movie stars that's on, big billboards, which everybody wants to be, the millionaires, or you can go ahead and be a talk show, or not talk show. You could be on a TV show or a lower version. You could be on a soap opera. You could be on a whole bunch of different things. But the fact is, if you want to get to the movie star, the ultimate level, you might have to do some things that you're not proud of doing. And if you don't want to do those things, then you stay at the level where you don't have to do those things. You can't make the rules to say, well, I want to be up there, but I'm not willing to pay the fee. If you're not willing to pay the fee, then stay in the amateur club. Because up here, we taking knuckles.
I can't do it. I am so done right now. Okay, so let's say somebody comes to us and goes, yo, I could take your podcast to the next level where y'all can be rich.
What's the cost?
You got to take these knuckles.
Hey man, we'll get it. I'll get it on my own, bro. Thanks. Thank you, but no thank you. But I'm saying that's literally people, like there's people who say, hey, I created this star in the music game, right? I say I created, let's just say I'm just naming fake names. Don't say they did this, but let's just say I had Beyonce, I had Mariah Carey, I had this, and they're literally legit, like these are their managers. But every one of them had to sleep with me for me to manage them and get them to the next level. Guess what? You're going to have to do the same if you want me to be a part of your team. At that point, you got to make a decision. You know what they're capable of doing. They've already shown you, but how much is your soul worth? And if it's worth that, then you're going to do it. If it's not, you're going to say, hey, I'll get it on my own. To me, I'm going to get it on my own. If I got to sell something that's not me, I don't need it. It's not for me then. God gonna put me in whatever he want to put me in, and he gonna tell me, hey, he gonna shun away anything that he doesn't want in my life. So I ain't got nothing much more to say. You?
I'm good.
All right, go ahead and get them knuckles ready. Hey y'all, hey, appreciate y'all rocking with us, man. Hey, it is what it is, but I'm telling y'all. Parents, y'all got to go ahead and be honest with your kids. Let them know the truth and let them know early. Otherwise, you don't know, man. They might be in some therapy soon. You know what I mean? Yeah. You might be paying for it. All right. Hey, I'm your boy Canteen. This is my man Beans.
Pray for this heathen.
Hey, it's a social norm. We out. Oh. Don't mind me.
Bing bong.
Hey, is that not fucking getting on? I swear. It's crazy out here, man. Bing bong. I love that fucking show. Go follow them, man.
Zone, you better pay attention. They teach you lessons, make you laugh when you're stressing. Must I mention that the style is infectious? I gotta have it. The red fire gabbing on my tablet. My boys established a gamut of information from relations to